Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic: 7 signs you are suffering from narcissistic abuse. This issue affects countless people worldwide, often leaving them confused, hurt, and doubting their self-worth. In this video, we'll explore the subtle yet damaging signs of this insidious form of abuse and offer guidance for navigating and healing from such experiences. Remember, understanding is the first step toward recovery, so let's get started. Many individuals find themselves ensnared in the grip of narcissistic and emotional abuse, completely unaware of the deteriorating nature of their situation until they hit a breaking point. The realization usually dawns when they reach a state of emotional exhaustion, desperately seeking answers as to why their once blissful relationship has taken such a dark turn. The partner they once adored has now transformed into a relentless critic, making them feel as though nothing they do is ever enough. This constant criticism, paired with the illusion that saving the relationship hinges entirely on their change, creates an impossible challenge. Their self-centered partner consistently moves the goalposts, ensuring that the victim never meets expectations. This cycle fosters perpetual anxiety and self-doubt, a hallmark of manipulative, destructive behavior. If these experiences sound familiar, it's possible that the person you share your life with is a narcissist. Recognizing this can be oddly comforting, a reminder that the struggles in your relationship aren't a reflection of your shortcomings but rather the result of your partner's narcissistic tendencies and their inability to nurture a balanced, respectful partnership. 1. Profound sense of loneliness. Despite sharing a home, meals, and even a bed, you often feel engulfed by an overwhelming loneliness. You might find yourself curled up, longing for the embrace of someone who can ease your isolation. This stems from the harsh truth: you're living with an illusion. The person you think you love doesn't truly exist. Consequently, you're left feeling abandoned on every level. Susan Anderson, author of The Journey from Abandonment to Healing, explains that abandonment carries a unique form of grief, potent and universally human. This grief can manifest acutely, as when a relationship ends, or chronically, reflecting unresolved past losses. The wound of abandonment runs deep yet often remains invisible, subtly undermining your sense of self and complicating future relationships. Unresolved abandonment frequently triggers self-sabotage. If you feel like your partner merely tolerates your presence, showing just enough affection to keep you hoping, it's likely because you fulfill a specific need for them. When you attempt to communicate, you're left feeling unheard, emotionally unstable, and frustrated. This reflects their lack of genuine interest in you and, more importantly, in what you have to say. A truly loving partner actively seeks your company, values your thoughts, and prioritizes your emotional well-being. 2. Constant feelings of inadequacy. Despite your professional successes, the stable life you've built, and the compliments you receive, you still feel like a fraud. No matter how the world celebrates your achievements, your partner remains indifferent, or worse, ridicules you for them. Narcissists mock and belittle their partners to reinforce their own sense of superiority. However, the primary goal of their derision is to dismantle your self-esteem entirely. What better way to maintain control than by convincing you that, despite your successes, you're inherently a failure? Tragically, this tactic often works, leaving victims so broken that they lose everything: careers, children, homes, professional licenses, savings, and, most heartbreakingly, their sense of identity. If you've started feeling profoundly insignificant within your relationship, especially if this sensation aligns with the timeline of your partnership, it's a clear indication of narcissistic abuse. 3. Feeling consumed by the relationship. A defining trait of narcissistic individuals is their ability to infiltrate and dominate every facet of their victim's life, consuming each waking moment. This control manifests in incessant calls, texts, and emails, sometimes numbering in the hundreds daily. They pressure you to distance yourself from friends and family, dictate your clothing and hairstyle, exhibit extreme jealousy, and occasionally even control your diet. The emotional toll is equally overwhelming. You're perpetually anxious, walking on eggshells, fearing what might trigger your unpredictable partner. Every decision becomes an exhausting calculation, yet even your most thoughtful plans can unravel in an instant, leaving you drowning in despair and hopelessness. In contrast, healthy relationships foster freedom, comfort, and security, not suffocation and fear. You should feel safe being your authentic self, both within the relationship and in your connections with others. 4. Self-esteem eroded by gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic narcissists use to make their victims doubt their own perceptions and memories. When entangled in such a relationship, you may find yourself constantly second-guessing your thoughts, emotions, and recollections as your partner systematically denies, distorts, or rewrites reality. They may claim that events didn't happen as you remember, or they might trivialize your feelings, making them seem baseless. Gaslighting is a powerful tool in a narcissist's arsenal, allowing them to maintain control and assert dominance. Over time, relentless gaslighting can severely erode your self-esteem and confidence. You may start doubting your sanity, becoming increasingly dependent on your partner's version of reality. This subtle yet damaging form of emotional abuse can cause long-term psychological harm, highlighting the importance of recognizing the signs and seeking support to break free from this manipulative cycle. A relationship with a narcissist often feels like navigating an intricate web of deception, where truth is continuously twisted to suit their needs. This can leave you feeling disoriented, unsure of your own reality. It's crucial to understand that this tactic is deliberate, designed to manipulate and control you. By making you question your perceptions, they maintain power over you. Recognizing this manipulation is the first step toward reclaiming your autonomy and breaking the cycle of narcissistic abuse. 5. Compromising personal integrity and values. In the past, you stood firm in defending your principles. But within this relationship, you've begun tolerating, even participating in, behaviors that contradict your core values. Ironically, you've come to view these actions as proof of your love. Your energy is entirely devoted to winning back your partner's affection, to once again becoming the soulmate they once claimed you were. In the name of love, you may have reluctantly engaged in activities that made you deeply uncomfortable, watching adult content at their insistence, considering a threesome, or participating in degrading sexual acts that caused intense discomfort or even disgust. In other cases, you might have stopped leaving tips at restaurants, ceased volunteering, or abandoned charitable donations, all because your partner dismissed these actions as pointless or mocked you for them. Worse, your children may have been sidelined amid the constant drama. A loving partner would never compel you to engage in activities that undermine your values or discourage you from acts of kindness. If your partner has convinced you that compromising your integrity is the only way to prove your love, it's vital to recognize the abusive nature of your relationship. No justification can absolve such behavior, regardless of what your partner may claim. 6. Self-worth undermined by name-calling. Affectionate nicknames and playful teasing can be part of a healthy relationship, but derogatory labels like crybaby, unstable, or crazy cross the line into abuse. Name-calling is designed to belittle you and instill self-doubt. It often occurs during angry outbursts, disguised as humor. Narcissists frequently follow insults with dismissive remarks like, "You're too sensitive," or, "I was only joking." This is classic verbal abuse. Regardless of the context, whether during a heated argument or a seemingly peaceful moment, name-calling is never acceptable. It's important to understand that narcissists often justify their behavior by blaming external factors, a difficult childhood, past relationship trauma, or work stress. None of these excuses entitle them to belittle, humiliate, or guilt-trip you. Consistent name-calling is not a sign of love, it's a manipulative tactic aimed at making you feel inferior. Over time, this erodes your self-esteem and sense of self-worth. Recognizing verbal abuse for what it is, abuse, is crucial. If you find yourself in such a situation, seek support. No one deserves to be disrespected or devalued in a relationship. 7. Exhaustion from hurt and rescue cycles. Narcissists often manipulate their partners through recurring cycles of hurt and rescue. They inflict significant stress and anxiety, only to abruptly relieve that stress, creating an emotional roller coaster. One common tactic is the silent treatment, which triggers your fear of abandonment. When the narcissist finally reappears, you're flooded with euphoric relief, a carefully orchestrated cycle designed to keep you dependent. This method mirrors police interrogation tactics used to extract confessions, sometimes from innocent individuals. When the narcissist returns after prolonged silence, your emotional defenses are weakened, making you more likely to tolerate their unacceptable behavior just to avoid further abandonment. This often leads you to plead, apologize, and beg them to stay, even when you've done nothing wrong. These cycles also explain why victims of narcissistic abuse experience obsessive thoughts and intense cravings after cutting off contact. The brain becomes conditioned to seek relief from the stress the narcissist causes, much like an addiction. When contact is severed, the absence of that relief can lead to disorientation, causing victims to operate on autopilot, engaging in familiar behaviors even after the relationship has ended. Conclusion. If you find yourself constantly questioning your relationship, obsessing over what you could do differently, blaming yourself for every problem, worrying about your partner's actions, experiencing emotional highs and lows, living in constant fear and anxiety, and feeling less confident and secure than before, these are clear signs of narcissistic abuse. The good news? Recovery is possible. It begins with recognizing the abuse and seeking help. The most effective strategies include cutting off all contact, often with the support of a coach, seeking therapy from a specialist in emotional trauma, practicing energy healing techniques, and establishing healthy boundaries. Healing takes time, and it's perfectly okay to seek support on this journey. Remember, you are not alone, and resources are available to guide you toward recovery. Thank you for staying with us through this important discussion on narcissistic abuse. We hope this information has provided valuable insights. If you or someone you know is experiencing this type of emotional abuse, remember that help is available, and recovery is within reach. If you found this content helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.